council comment.
Okay.
It's positive.
Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And the first order of business is always to thank the San Bruno Garden Club for providing the floral arrangement for our meetings. Roll call, please.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Here.
Vice Mayor Medina.
Here.
Mayor Ruane.
Here.
Councilmember Ibarra.
Here.
Councilmember Salazar.
Here.
I'd like to call on Commander Noreen Hanlon to lead us in the pledge, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do have item number 3, which are announcements. First one is the 70th Annual Posey Parade, sponsored by the San Bruno Lions Club, will be held on Sunday, June 6th, 2010 at 1 p.m. Mr. Ibarra, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's 70 years that the Posey Parade has graced this community. It is the oldest youth parade, non-motorized parade in the world. And for the last 26 years, the San Bruno Lions have been proud sponsors. But we'd also like to thank Recology, City of San Bruno, the Daily Journal, and San Bruno Chamber of Commerce. The theme, Green Transportation, Our Carbon Footprint. How apropos. So 1 o'clock, first Sunday in June 6th. And if any child wants to participate, all they need to do is get dressed up, put some flowers on themselves or on their bicycle, try to match up the theme, and show up at Canes and San Mateo Avenue at about 12:30. And you'll be able to walk in the parade, and then it's a long walk, but the Lions will give you a free lunch at City Park. So hopefully we'll have great weather and a big crowd outside. So thank you.
Great. We look forward to it. Thank you very much. Item B, we will have study sessions for review of the fiscal year 2010-2011 annual operating budgets, and they'll be held on June 1st, 2nd, 3rd if necessary, 2010, beginning at 5:30 p.m. at City Hall. Presentations, we have no presentations this evening. Review of agenda, any changes? Okay. Item 6, approval of the minutes for the regular City Council meeting of May 11, 2010. Any corrections, errors, omissions? Seeing none, they'll be approved as submitted. Consent calendar. All items are considered routine or implement an earlier council action and may be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion unless requested by a council member, citizen, or staff. Any action?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion second. On the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Item 8, public hearings. We have no public hearings this evening. Item 9, public comment on items not on the agenda. It is the council's policy to refer matters raised in this forum to staff for investigation and/or action where appropriate. The Brown Act prohibits the council from discussing or acting upon any matter not agendized pursuant to state law. Any members of the public wish to speak on this item? All right, we'll go right to conduct of business, item 10. Item A is adopt a resolution approving conversion of yield sign located on Cunningham Way at Genevan Avenue to a stop sign. Staff report, please.
Honorable Mayor, Council members, what you have before you, our request and recommendation for the conversion of the yield sign at Cunningham Way and Genevan to a stop sign. In 2009, a resident approached the city with the request to consider the installation of the stop sign at Hawthorne Avenue and Genevan. The main concern and reason for that request was the safety of the left turning movement from Hawthorne Avenue to Genevan. To follow up on the safety concern expressed by the resident and to address the request, the department requested the development of a traffic analysis and traffic study of our existing traffic consultant to conduct a stop sign analysis for this intersection. The traffic analysis and the stop sign warrant assessment was done by the consultant. The recommendation of the consultant based on the available information was to deny and to recommend against the installation of the stop sign. The warrants were not met at that location, and based on the consultant recommendation, this would not have improved the safety at that location. Based on the consultant recommendation, the department took our own recommendation to the TSPC in January of this year. Our recommendation was, in essence, to deny, to consider the information available and to deny the installation of the stop sign at Hawthorne and Genevieve Avenue. At the TSPC meeting in January, 5 residents, the department, as usual, made the communication to the neighborhood who would have been impacted by any traffic change around that location. And 5 residents showed up for the TSPC meeting. 2 of the residents spoke for the installation of the stop sign at that location, and 2 against the installation of the stop sign. During the analysis of the information available and during the discussion how to further improve the safety and to address the concern raised by the residents, the situation at Cunningham Way came up, where how you can see from the map showing that right now for the right turn for the north lane, for the northbound of Cunningham Way, is a stop sign going turning left, and is a yield sign for turning right. Based on the safety concern discussed at the meeting, the question came up if would not be worthwhile to further assess the usefulness and the possibility to convert that yield sign to a stop sign to further improve the safety at Hawthorne and Genevieve, in essence lowering the possible speed of the traffic turning right from Cunningham Way. As you recall, that at that location is a pretty good slope and downgrade on Genevieve at that location. The department went back with the request to the consultant. The traffic consultant reassessed this request at that specific location and concluded that the stop sign warrants are very close to meet the required threshold, and also that the accident history at that location would make this a very good candidate, and they recommended to basically to convert the yield sign to a stop sign for the right turn movement on Cunningham to Genevieve. The department in February went back with that recommendation to the TSPC, and our recommendation was supported by the TSPC. And what you have in front of you today, the TSPC and our recommendation to approve the conversion of that yield sign to a stop sign. if you have any question.
Any questions of staff? Any, action?
Through the chair, just for the record, I was at the January meeting when this came up. I was in the audience. I didn't participate. One question that came up was in somewhat of the analysts and the data. There was some question about whether all it had been examined or what have you. You were there.
Yes.
This is the exact same report, and all those questions were addressed that were raised in that form?
This report is the final report, or it is a modifying report, which was basically handed out to the TSPC on the February meeting. Was a difference meeting presented in the January meeting, and the department went back based on those discussions with the consultant to further assess the recommendation at this location, and this report reflects that final outcome and that recommendation, which was shared with the TSPC members on the February meeting.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions of staff? Any action?
Through the chair, I'll go ahead and I'll move to introduce resolution for adoption.
Vice Mayor Medina.
Aye.
Councilmember Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilmember Salazar.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Mayor Ruane.
Aye. Item 10B, receive an oral update regarding the city's temporary moratorium on the establishment and operation of medical marijuana collectives.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. As you will recall, in October of 2009, the city enacted a moratorium on medical marijuana collectives, and then after proper notice and hearing, extended that initial moratorium to the full 2 years that is allowed by law. As you recall, a moratorium is really a planning tool, and what it is the exercise of police power with the purpose of preserving the status quo in order to prohibit a land use activity that is inconsistent with either current or proposed or contemplated zoning. Now, at the last hearing, you indicated that you wanted to consider within the next 6 months whether to have a study session or not, although that desire may have rested on whether greater clarity in the law had developed at the time that you were thinking about having the study session. And while there has been lots of litigation, and I can tell you about those cases and those developments, to include a voter initiative that may be on the November ballot that is tangentially related, there isn't any greater clarity in the law between the time that you adopted the moratorium and now. In fact, I recently attended a presentation at the City Attorney's Conference, and the title says it all, Land Use Planning in a Sea of Uncertainty. And I also note that in the Western magazine, Western City Magazine, there are 2 articles side by side. One, the case for banning medical marijuana, and the other being the case for allowing medical marijuana. So that, to me, essentially says that the state of the law is pretty much as you knew it several months ago. So I'm happy to answer any questions from you or receive your direction on anything else that you would like myself or staff to do on this matter.
Questions, comments for the city attorney?
Through the chair. Are there any inquiries from the public on establishing a collective?
I've not received any, and the community development director is shaking his head no, that he has not received any inquiries since the enactment of the moratorium.
Anything else? Thank you.
You're welcome.
10C, adopt a resolution allocating $5,800 from the City Art Fund for Culture and Arts Commission programs for 2010-2011. Staff report, please.
Good evening, Mayor Ruane, members of the City Council. The item before you at this time is the request from the Culture and Arts Commission for funds for their annual programs for 2010 and 2011. They did come on February 23rd to give their annual report, and at that time expressed some of the ideas they had, and at that time was received favorably by the council. So we're returning now to ask for the allocations for those projects. To review what those are, the first request is for the Movies in the Park event. We'll be entering our third year of that event, and it has, as you know, has been a very successful family event within San Bruno. The second and third are actually two new programs that the Commission wished to proceed with. The first is a Shakespeare in the Park event in October of this year. There's a tentative agreement pending approval tonight with the San Francisco Shakespeare Company to produce their production of The Tempest. So there's a $750 request for costs associated with the production and some staffing. The third program is a Valentine's Day film program. This will be run as a recreation department program, but it is included tonight because any of the proceeds from the event will go back to the City Art Fund. The staff report shows a calculation of costs based on what we hope to have in terms of attendance of about 25 couples. The costs that will be, the revenues that will be generated will be from a dinner program, a box dinner program that will be offered to those who wish to attend. The event does need about 12 couples to break even, and so the event will only be held if there is that amount of interest or more. The idea is to not have the City Art Fund to subsidize the event, but rather to have the event generate some additional revenue as well as give the Commission some opportunity to try something new. The final item in the staff report is reimbursements for the 3 finalists for the recognition sculpture project. To give you a brief update on that process, the Commission, the subcommittee comprised of Parks and Rec and Arts and Culture Commissioners did get 3 finalists. They received some scale models, which were very helpful in helping them to kind of move through their process. They are now in discussion with one of the finalists, and there is a meeting that's scheduled for June. It will be a public meeting with the full Art and Culture and Park and Rec commissioners to kind of help to refine some ideas that have come from one of the finalists. They'll be returning later in the summer with an actual recommendation, but they still have some more kind of back and forth to discuss with the artists. However, in the call for artists, it did stipulate that each finalist would receive a $750 reimbursement for their time and their materials in creating the scale models that they've been using. So this request also is requesting the ability to go ahead and pay those artists for their time and money. Again, those models really did give them some very valuable information and insight into what actually will work best for City Park for that project. So the total request is for $5,800, and the current balance of the City Art Fund is $68,500. There is no general fund impact associated with those expenditures. And the actual request has been reduced from $5,800 to $5,180. Originally, we had thought that the startup costs for the Valentine's Day event might come from the fund, but instead the registration funds for those people that might be interested in attending will be used to fund the program. So that's why there's a difference. Fortunately, it's lower. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions of staff?
I think it's very exciting.
Through the chair, really quick, maybe to the city manager, if you could just really quickly explain, it was already alluded to by the assistant director, this is not general funds, but just for everyone's knowledge as to where these funds are generated from.
Sure, I'd be
Please.
happy to do that. In fiscal year 2003-2004, the City Council established a new program and a new commission, the Culture and Arts Commission. That commission's charge was to administer a new fund, the Arts Fund, which was put into place by ordinance of the City Council. That fund derives its revenue from a surcharge on building permits. It is a dedicated resource, and all receipts from that surcharge are deposited to the special dedicated art fund. Those receipts cannot be used for any other purpose, and the way that that fund is currently administered is by recommendation of the Culture and Arts Commission, who report to the City Council, and no expenditures are made out of that fund except by specific action of the City Council.
And then just finally, obviously, and thank you, building permits are obviously down, so we're at probably going to be half of the revenues that we were in 08-09 for 09-2010, which is understandable. So I think we just need to be mindful too of the account, and obviously during these times less revenues are coming into the fund.
I would just add briefly that it has been the City Council's policy direction to the Culture and Arts Commission that they concentrate on larger scale physical public installation of our art. And in fact, the Commission has done that with several installations already created since the time of the inception of the Art Fund. Those include the gateway monuments currently installed at the north and south entryways to the city along El Camino Real, a bronze statue on the lawn in front of the San Bruno Public Library, 2 murals, one at the location of the future Caltrain grade separation on San Bruno Avenue and another one on San Mateo Avenue. And as the Assistant Director mentioned, there is a project currently in process to provide a donor recognition sculpture, I guess is the best way to call it, which is intended to be installed at City Park. So, in fact, the concepts that the Council has expressed previously are being implemented, and the Council member is absolutely correct. The fund kind of ebbs and flows in its balance available, and the Commission and staff are very mindful of the availability of resources and the expectation that they may not be coming in at the rate that they may have in the past.
Any other questions of staff?
Through the chair.
Okay.
On this recognition sculpture project, for $750, do we take ownership of the models?
Yes, they are city property.
And so we will be able to view the 3 finalists?
Yes.
Okay. But the committee will be making a recommendation for one.
That is correct, and
For one of the 3.
correct, just for one of the 3, and also the artists that they're currently focusing on. A lot of elements of the piece were what they were looking for, but there were some elements that they felt that they wanted to have, and so that's the reason for some additional meetings with the artists to see if the concept can be refined a little bit more before it's brought forward.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions of staff? Action?
Through the chair, I'll adopt the resolution with the revised amount.
Councilmember Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilmember Salazar.
Aye.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Medina.
Aye.
Mayor Ruane.
Aye. Item number 11, report of commissions, boards, and committees. We have no report this evening. Item 12, comments from council members.
And through the chair, thank you. I attended a meeting yesterday of the Congestion Management and Environmental Quality Committee that is part of a regional board, transportation board, and I'm very pleased to announce that we recommended to the whole CCAG board approval of San Bruno's Transportation for Livable Communities program. And that, I'm doubly proud that we got that. For one, there was $1,600,000 available. All the cities were informed about the program. All the cities have projects they could have submitted for approval. 2 out of 20 did, San Bruno and Burlingame. San Bruno's project was complete. There's no going back and redoing. There's nothing that needs to be done. It was, and even though there was only 2 projects and it was way under the total amount that could be distributed, they still go through a process because they have the option of not spending any money and denying all the projects, but ours was approved, so I was very pleased with that. Number one, that we got approved. Number two, that we took the time, our city and the public service staff and department heads took the time to do the project, to get it done right, and to put forward all that. The second city, while they got approved, they've had to go back to the drawing board because some of it was not very well done. So I just wanted to, I won't say what city that is, I just wanted to acknowledge the public services staff and Carla, and thank you very much for keeping all those balls in the air, because I know it's very difficult and there's so much coming at you. So I just wanted to let you know that, and let you know that it's going to be approved, and the other project too.
Great, thank you very much. Any other comments from council members? I have a couple of items. I attended the Mayor's Diversity Awards ceremony at the San Mateo County Historical Museum last Thursday, along with all of the other mayors in San Mateo County. It was quite an event, and was pleased to present San Bruno's nominee award to Melissa Natani, who is very active in our Tonga community. So she was very pleased, and it was a very nice event covered on actually Comcast. But anyway, the other thing I want to announce is Memorial Day observance will be held, as it is every year, on Memorial Day, this Monday, coming up on the 31st at 10:30 a.m. at the Golden Gate National Cemetery. So it's quite an event, and if you can make it, please attend.
Rain or shine?
Rain or shine. It's going to be shining, though.
Oh.
And there is a lunch after at the Veterans Hall down on San Mateo Avenue. Right. Item 13, closed session. We do have 2 items for a closed session. Item A is a closed session to confer with legal counsel regarding pending claims. California Government Codes 54956.9C, Vasquez, SB 992A, Mansfield, SB 992B, and Fabella, SB 992C, and Chand, SB 992D. And item B is the City Manager and Human Resources Director request a closed session pursuant to California Government Code Section 4957.6 regarding direction for labor negotiations with the San Bruno Professional Firefighters Association, Public Safety Mid-Management Bargaining Unit, Miscellaneous Group Mid-Management Bargaining Unit, San Bruno Police Bargaining Unit, and the San Bruno Management Employees Association. And item number 14 is adjournment, and we will adjourn to the next regular City Council meeting on June 8th, 2010, right here at the Senior Center, and we will not have anything to report after the closed session. Meeting adjourned.